Okay, here we go. Cubase 10. Just got it and spent an hour or so on working on a cappella piece I do for my students. They have to sing it on stage. I'm not a singer. What can I do? I've thrown in some omnispheres, and first thing I realized I can use 4 instances of omnisphere, and it works straight ahead with 24-bit, 48 kHz via USB from the X32 here. It's working. It didn't work with Cubase 9.5, so obviously they made a new audio engine that's much more stable. I got the feeling it's more stable. The feel is more secure for me. Next point I had is I've been working on this audio track here. I'm a really bad singer.
How can they say
and of course I had a look at this new Vari audio that's coming along with it, and got into this Vari audio thing and realized, okay, now I can do performance, and I can do things like going from one blob to the other blob is Melodyne, you know. And in a way it's getting more like Melodyne has been 2 or 3 years ago. I was wishing that, and it's working quite well, but it's not doing polyphonic. This could be an update in the future if they deal with Peter Neubecker, who invented the whole thing with Ceremony. So that's not on me to argue. I personally would still take Melodyne. If they bring ARAS to support in January, then it's quite an option for me to run Melodyne 4.2 within Cubase like an editor. If it works in Logic and Studio One, well, Presonus, they did it together, ARA
left
thing.
In an ocean
it works
of
in a way, but can be better. So maybe nice that Steinberg's waiting for this forthcoming ARA and do a good job on that. Next thing I did was... Okay, they have this new mode that's called, here it is, I get in there, audio alignment selection. And first mistake I did, I've taken the first one, quantized it a little bit, audio warped a little bit, then it was perfect from the timing. I've taken this as reference, put it in via plus here into there. And then I've taken the second one and put it into targets and aligned those two. And then I've taken the third one and aligned those and ended up with they're not really in timing. And that was my mistake. Maybe it can be your mistake also. Because better is all, take them all, put them into add alignment target. They could have written here targets. Why not? That's what I think. I tried it and it worked better. Maybe I'm wrong, but this works better. And then I found myself like it's somehow.
How can they say that love
there's
never
still a
lasts?
mistake in there. You hear this?
Someday it all disappears.
This is all. Yes, I did Vari audio one voice higher here.
After a while.
It's terrible because all the formats were transposed up there. With Melodyne, this should be better, and then do some audio alignment will be perfect. So you can't make a bad voice a good voice, but in a way it fits more into this arrangement here, because the choir is coming from Omnisphere, and this is of course perfect. Well, let's get out of this here audio alignment panel, and let's get out of Vari audio again and have a listen how it works. What did I do here? And then I will check in the mixer how it's working, yes. Here's the first voice by the Omnisphere. By the way, now I've put up the sample buffer to 4000 because for mastering I don't need real time. So far no cracks, no clicks, nothing of course. What they did is also very nicely, you can choose from different audio tracks via Alt, and you hold it and then take the right mouse click and make a group and do VCA channels, voltage controlled amplifier channels. And these VCA channels are working straight away like this. They keep the reference between the different tracks, it's balanced. And into the group channel you can put another plugins. I come to this later. So let's listen to this. Now comes my turbo voice, Vari audio.
How can they say that love never lasts? Someday it all disappears.
I only have bad earphones
After
here.
a while,
So in a way, it's satisfying. The sound to me.
left in an ocean of tears.
I don't know if there's different sounds in DAW engines. Some people say Pro Tools is different. Here I got a feeling it's very nice.
Right. This love will stand here for
So, as I told you, everything works quite stable, and what I found that when I use inserts like isotope, neutron or nectar and isotope ozone in common and throw it in, my oldest system with Cubase 9.5 and Intel Core 7 and 8 gigabyte RAM, that's nothing, went down. Yes, nothing worked anymore. Here it's working quite stable, and I can use these plugins without rendering all these different tracks, so I can get into Omnispheres again and change the sounds and everything. So this is quite nice and stable for doing mastering, and yeah, it works quite well. On the right side, you got this new thing with the media here, and now I got a feeling Omnisphere is going down. Yes. Ah, no, here it comes. This takes quite a while until it comes here, pops up. So go back. I can do some changes here, and it's working in a way. But what I wanted to say, you got this media browser on the right side, and you can now have this pictures, and it really works. But what it doesn't work, it's scanning the whole HD and all instances of Reactor, for example, and it's popping up several times with a black window. I would prefer if I can take a right click, but with a right click, this window opens and throw it away, because it's not very convenient to have all these black windows in here. You can change it, but maybe with the next update they do it. Okay, so far everything works. What didn't work for me, the most naive thing ever, was the transport bar is different now. Of course, you know, you can bring it back here with F2, and where's this clicks? Where are my clicks? So I checked this here and everywhere and checked how everything back and have a look. It's down here, yes. Why? I don't know. I was looking here, and it took me quite a few minutes to look down there. But that's coming. With every update, you have new ideas that people implement, and so it's like that. What's also a little bit tricky is you have, of course, you can do all the VST effects are also appearing here. Here I have Melodyne, for example, and still run it with transfer, but this is not working anymore. I won't work with Melodyne anymore as long as it's not ARA2 in here. But all these things, Neutron and all these XILs and TSR, Verb and Softtube, this is quite nice, and they do a lot of presets, loops and samples. This is for professional. I don't really work with loops. I do my loops by myself, you know. I don't steal something away from other people. Where will we end up in the end? You throw in an MP3 and that's your production, yes? And also the presets. This is a point where people might ask, what's coming after this? Cubase has such a power, and is so powerful, and you can do so many things, and you have this preset thing. Is there anything you could imagine that should be there in the future? I can tell you what. Isotope had this Ozone 8 now, and a Neutron, is it 3 or 2? And Nectar, and they're interfering with each other. So when I go to a channel and do a manipulation on Neutron for voice, for example, I use this compressor thing and everything, and might not go along with what I do in the master section with Ozone 8 then. So the mistakes are adding themselves. So Isotope thought, okay, give it a try. We do an algorithm that they talk to each other and say, oh, what you do there by reference track, for example. I'll do the same. And this would be a wish for me for the next version. Well, I got Cubase 10, 1 hour now. Next version, do this wonderful channel strip they have now here in the different tracks and in the master, and make an algorithm that they talk to each other, so that dummies who are using presets and all these things and don't know what they're doing get a little bit of help, that they don't mess it up and give something to mastering engineers who says, oh my gosh, I must take everything out, but it doesn't work, even not with RX8. So this would be for people who are not professionals, and this is one target of Cubase, I think, still. This would be an idea that you give some help like that instead of putting all these preset things. So Anything else left? No, nothing left for me. There's much more. I'm working with Cubase since the 80s. Steinbeck, not Cubase, Steinbeck 24 I started with Atari. And did 2,500 hour seminars on this thing, and always astonishing what they're inventing and where they get. And you get a new version, and as soon as it's there, you have an idea like me now. Can we do something new with it in the next version? So, by the way, Steinbeck, brilliant job programming this. I'm also educating informatics here in my courses. It's incredible. The team did an incredible job on this, and all this complaining and whatever, and the server is very slow when you download it, 500Ks. Cubase, Steinbeck, please change this next time. I have 100 megabits here, glass fiber. Many people have 500K. You wait hours and hours to get it downloaded. So there are always some things to complain about. In the end, I must say, it's brilliant, and it's a creative tool for me. I could have never imagined when I started with bands in the end of the 70s. So we are in the 21st century now, and here is Cubase 10. And don't argue too much with it. Do good music with it. Have fun with it. And thank you.